In this video, we are going to see how the pH of body fluids is regulated so as to maintain the acid-base balance. Before we go into regulation of acid-base balance, let us recapitulate what we mean by acids and bases. The definition of acids and bases is based upon whether they donate hydrogen ions or they accept hydrogen ions. Hydrogen ions are also known as protons because a hydrogen ion doesn't have any electron and it has got just one proton. So acids and bases are defined on the basis of whether they donate protons or whether they accept protons. An acid, any acid, is a proton donor. It can donate hydrogen ions. A base is a proton acceptor. It can accept hydrogen ions. Here we have some examples. On the top we have carbonic acid, H2CO3. Carbonic acid can dissociate into a hydrogen ion and a bicarbonate ion. Nitric acid can dissociate into a hydrogen ion and a nitrate ion. Phosphoric acid, H3PO4, can dissociate into a hydrogen ion and a dihydrogen phosphate ion. And the dihydrogen phosphate ion can dissociate into a hydrogen ion and a monohydrogen phosphate ion. And all these reactions are reversible. So the bicarbonate ion can reassociate with a hydrogen ion to form carbonic acid. Similarly, nitrate ion can associate with a hydrogen ion to form nitric acid and so on. So the compounds like carbonic acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid and dihydrogen phosphate can donate protons. So they are known as acids. And bicarbonate, nitrate, dihydrogen phosphate and monohydrogen phosphate can accept hydrogen ions or protons and therefore they are bases. Different acids differ in their strength. Some acids are strong acids, some acids are weak acids. If we take the example of hydrochloric acid and carbonic acid, hydrochloric acid dissociates into H ions and chloride ions. Carbonic acid dissociates into H ions and bicarbonate ions. Now, one molecule of hydrochloric acid releases one hydrogen ion. One molecule of carbonic acid also releases one hydrogen ion. But the strength of hydrochloric acid and carbonic acid is not equal. If we have a solution in which 100 molecules of hydrochloric acid are present, most of these molecules will exist in the form of hydrogen ions and chloride ions. That is, most of the hydrochloric acid molecules will be dissociated and very few will be undissociated. If we have another solution having 100 molecules of carbonic acid, very few molecules will dissociate into H ions and bicarbonate ions, and most of the carbonic acid molecules will be undissociated. Therefore, the concentration of hydrogen ions will be much higher in the solution having hydrochloric acid as compared to the hydrogen ion concentration having an equal number of carbonic acid molecules. So the hydrogen ion concentration differs in different acids. In a solution having hydrochloric acid, the acid is almost completely dissociated, and therefore the concentration of hydrogen ions is very high. In a solution having carbonic acid, majority of the acid molecules are undissociated. Very few are dissociated, and therefore the concentration of hydrogen ions is low. So these two acids differ in the concentration of hydrogen ions. In general, mineral acids are highly dissociated. Therefore, the concentration of hydrogen ions in mineral acid solutions is very high, and these acids are known as strong acids. Most of the organic acids are very poorly dissociated. Therefore, the concentration of hydrogen ions is low, and these acids are considered as weak acids. So, mineral acids are strong acids, organic acids are weak acids. The concentration of hydrogen ions in body fluids like plasma, extracellular fluid, intracellular fluid is very low. If we take the concentration of hydrogen ions in blood, the normal concentration is about 0.00004 millimoles per liter. So the concentration is extremely low, and it is very difficult to express these concentrations conveniently, and therefore Sorensen had devised a scale which is known as pH scale to express the minute hydrogen ion concentrations conveniently. So this pH scale is a way to express the minute hydrogen ion concentrations. And pH of a solution is the negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration in the solution. The hydrogen ion concentration is expressed in moles per liter. So pH of a solution is equal to minus log hydrogen ion concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration is expressed in moles per liter. Water dissociates into hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions. One molecule of water gives one hydrogen ion and one hydroxyl ion on dissociation. The ion product of water, also shown as Kw, is the concentration of hydrogen ions multiplied by the concentration of hydroxyl ions when both are expressed in moles per liter. So Kw is the concentration of H ions multiplied by the concentration of OH ions. And experimentally it was found that the product of H ion concentration and OH ion concentration is 10 raised to minus 14. Since pure water gives an equal number of hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions, if the ion product is 10 raised to minus 14, it means the concentration of hydrogen ions is 10 raised to minus 7 and concentration of hydroxyl ions is also 10 raised to minus 7. So 10 raised to minus 7 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 7 is 10 raised to minus 14. Since we know that the concentration of hydrogen ions in pure water is 10 raised to minus 7 moles per liter, we can calculate the pH of water. The pH of water will equal minus log H ion concentration expressed in mole per liter. And the concentration is 10 raised to minus 7. So pH of water equals minus log 10 raised to minus 7. And log 10 raised to minus 7 is minus 7. Therefore, the pH of water is 7 or exactly 7.0. If the pH of any solution is less than 7, less than that of water, it means the hydrogen ion concentration in this solution is more than that in water. And if the hydrogen ion concentration in the solution is more than that in water, it means the solution is acidic. So in any solution having pH less than 7, the medium will be acidic. If the pH of a solution is more than 7, that means more than that of water, it means the hydrogen ion concentration in this solution is less than that in water, and therefore this solution is basic. If the pH of a solution is exactly 7.0, this means that the hydrogen ion concentration in this solution is same as in water. And since water is neutral, this solution is also neutral. So in any solution having a pH exactly 7, the solution will be neutral. The normal pH of blood, arterial blood, is 7.35 to 7.45. The average pH is 7.4. And since the pH is slightly higher than that of water, it means the reaction of arterial blood is slightly basic. We can also describe the reaction of blood in terms of actual hydrogen ion concentration, but as we have seen, the hydrogen ion concentrations in body fluids, including blood, are very low. So we have to express these concentrations in nanomoles per liter. And 1 mole per liter equals 10 raised to 9 nanomoles per liter. If the pH of a solution is 7.4, as it is in arterial blood, the hydrogen ion concentration will be 40 nanomoles per liter. If the pH rises to 7.5, there will be a decrease in hydrogen ion concentration, and at pH 7.5, the hydrogen ion concentration will be 31 nanomoles per liter. If the pH rises from 7.5 to 7.6, there will be a decrease in hydrogen ion concentration, and the concentration will decrease to 25 nanomoles per liter. So when the pH changes from 7.4 to 7.5, the change is 0.1 units. The change in hydrogen ion concentration is 40 minus 31, that is 9 nanomoles per liter. When the pH rises from 7.5 to 7.6, the change is 0.1 units, but the change in hydrogen ion concentration is 31 minus 25 nanomoles per liter, that is 6 nanomoles per liter. So in both the cases, the change in pH is 0.1 units, but the change in hydrogen ion concentration is different. And this difference is because the pH scale is not linear. It is a logarithmic scale. Since the pH scale is not linear, a change in pH doesn't reflect the change in hydrogen ion concentration accurately. When the pH becomes abnormal, say from 7.4 it goes to 7.5, or from 7.5 it goes to 7.6, we get an impression that the severity of change is similar, 0.1 units, but the severity of change in hydrogen ion concentration is different. Therefore, it is preferable to describe the changes in hydrogen ion concentration in nanomoles per liter rather than pH. But because of prolonged use, the pH scale has come to stay, we still describe changes in acid-base balance in terms of pH of the body fluids. Why do we need to maintain acid-base balance, and how does acid-base balance gets disturbed sometimes? Acids and bases are continuously formed in our body during various metabolic reactions. In some reactions, acids are formed. In some reactions, bases are formed. So there is continuous formation of acids and bases. Moreover, acids and bases also enter from outside. They can enter along with food and beverages. And there is a continuous loss of acids and bases from the body. Or sometimes the formation of acids and bases can become abnormal. Sometimes the entry of acids and bases from outside can become abnormal. And sometimes the loss of acids and bases can become abnormal. And all these abnormalities pose a challenge to acid-base balance. They can disturb the acid-base balance. The acids which are formed in our body, the formation of acids is much more than the formation of bases. And the acids which are formed every day may be volatile acids or they may be non-volatile acids. The major volatile acid is carbonic acid. Non-volatile acids are many, for example, lactic acid. If we look at the daily production of hydrogen ions in our body, it is partly in the form of volatile acids and partly in the form of non-volatile acids. But the formation of volatile acids is much more as compared to the formation of non-volatile acids. The daily production of hydrogen ions in the form of volatile acids is about 15,000 millimoles per day. The daily production of hydrogen ions in the form of non-volatile acids is about 75 millimoles per day. So this is a substantial amount. And these hydrogen ions must be removed from the body. If they are not removed, they will accumulate in the body, and this can seriously disturb the pH of body fluids. We have seen that the pH of arterial blood varies from 7.35 to 7.45. So it is a very narrow range. Similarly, the pH of other body fluids has to be maintained within a very narrow range. If there is any deviation from the normal, a departure from the normal, this can have serious effects. Serious consequences can arise from departure of pH from the normal range. When the pH is disturbed, the biomolecules which will be affected are those that carry electrical charges. There are a number of biomolecules having electrical charges, and the electrical charges depend upon the pH of the medium. And among such biomolecules, the most abundant and also very important are proteins. The structure of proteins, the conformation of proteins depends upon the primary structure, the secondary structure, the tertiary structure, and sometimes quaternary structure also. The higher levels of structure like secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structure depend upon the electrical charges which are present on the amino acid residues. And these electrical charges can be altered if there is a change in the pH of the medium. So a change in pH can affect the electrical charges. A change in electrical charges can affect the conformation of the proteins. And the function of a protein, any protein, depends upon its conformation. So if there is a change in conformation, the function can become abnormal. So functioning of the proteins can be affected by changes in pH. We have got a variety of proteins, thousands of proteins having different functions. And among the different proteins, a very important class is enzymes. Enzymes catalyze all the biochemical reactions that occur in a living organism. And if there is a change in the conformation of enzymes, the catalytic activity of the enzymes can change. And altered catalytic activity of the enzymes can affect, can impair the entire metabolic machinery. Therefore, we require mechanisms to maintain the pH of body fluids within the normal range so that the electrically charged biomolecules can perform their functions normally. The major mechanisms for regulating the pH of body fluids are: number one, chemical buffering. The chemical buffers which are present in different body fluids help in maintaining the pH of the body fluids. The second mechanism is respiratory regulation. The respiratory system also regulates the pH of different body fluids. And the third mechanism is renal regulation. The kidneys also have a major role in regulating the pH of the body fluids. We will look at each of these mechanisms, these three mechanisms, in the subsequent videos. Thank you.